First of all, it's a privilege to be here this morning. This is the governor's second Yogurt and Dairy Summit. We are honored to be part of this, and I'm going to start by thanking Dean Boer and Cornell University for not only hosting this, but just for a moment to say one appreciation I have for what we really are achieving in New York State. We could not achieve without Cornell University in terms of agriculture and including dairy, wine, all the various agricultural entities. Cornell, we are blessed to have, and I want to thank the dean, her team, President Skort, and everybody at Cornell, and for hosting us today at this beautiful Stocking Hall. So, Dean, thank you very much. I also want to say the governor is not here today, and I will give you a sense, if you know the governor well, one of the things he does so well. I'm stepping down at the end of this year. My travel will be curtailed, but he's the kind of person that knows how much I love this stuff and provides these opportunities. I want to thank him because I would not be here without him. And I sometimes feel like I'm the backup band for Springsteen. He has done an extraordinary job, but I really appreciate him giving me the opportunity to be here because I just am thrilled to be part of this, thrilled to see what's happened over the last 4 years, and certainly want to thank everybody for taking time to come and for everybody today for all they've done with this great industry in New York. I am here with a chocolate milk, which I've said, for any athlete, any runner, this should supplant Gatorade. Chocolate milk is the best recovery drink, and that's just one example of our great dairy industry, and I think it makes us all very, very proud. When we came to the first Governor's Summit, I think we all pledged to say yes to yogurt and dairy, and now we can say we've said yes to yogurt and dairy since that first summit, and we accomplished a lot in the first time around, and I think now we be very proud of what we've accomplished since then. We are the dairy and the dairy processing area is one of the strongest drivers of our upstate economy, and we see it everywhere, but it truly is. We are the third highest milk producing state in the entire nation. We should be very, very proud of that as well. And for the last 2 years, we led the nation in yogurt production. And a big part of our economy is yogurt production. And when we look at the accomplishments of the governor over the last 4 years, he has really done a superb job to help yogurt producers and dairy producers, but also to even bring producers from outside coming in to New York State to take great advantage of what we have here, our great fertile ground, Cornell University, and our great teams that we have here. In terms of the agriculture, the governor has tried to create the state being open for business, and what he's tried to do in this industry is really listen and then create legislative changes and rule changes along the way to really help to reinvigorate the industry, to help remove some of the obstacles that many people have really felt and experienced, which is so important. Artisan cheese making is expanding in New York State, and again, we're now home to more dairy processing facilities than ever before. With the launch of Taste New York initiatives, the governor announced yesterday the state is working on to make sure that New York State made products are recognized for their superior quality. Not only recognized, but also marketed. I mean, look around from thruway rest stops to stores, airports. One of the great changes is really a push to market New York State created products around the state, and really to market those to the millions of visitors that come to New York State every year. So that's been a great boost for our business. We want to make sure that these markets are open around the nation, around the world. We're working hard to do that, and part of this process is to have summits like this to learn, to listen, to act, and to keep on learning and keep on creating changes that really help the industry. Companies are realizing that New York is a place to make high-quality dairy products, including Italian cheeses, cream cheese, cottage cheeses, and obviously the world's best Greek yogurt. I have to make a confession. Sometimes people in public office will say they like yogurt and taste it. I love yogurt. I was telling Dean, they asked me to do a little picture outside. It's a labor of love. I eat so much yogurt, I get yelled at home because I eat a lot. I love it. It's been, it supplants my sweet tooth, but it's something that I love, and I won't give my favorite brands out today, but I'm trying to taste as many as I can experience. And I will say this, I've not tasted a bad one yet. They are superb, and I'm very, very proud to say that. Including, aside from yogurt, many other businesses are really burgeoning from the dairy and agricultural industry, which is great. I mentioned Cornell University before. Cornell has just done a superb job in their training, their education efforts. They have really raised the bar for all of us across New York State agriculture. As I said before, we would not be the third highest producer in the country. We would not be #1 yogurt production without what Cornell has done and continues to do for New York State. So we recognize that, and we're very, very grateful for what they do, but they're a big partner, as you know, for all of us. In terms of business climate, the governor's working hard to change the economic climate in New York State and really to help produce a workforce that's ready to carry on in the future in the dairy industry. Since 2008, the amount of milk used for dairy processing has increased by more than 38%, which is a great increase. In less than 2 years, state funds have been used to leverage private investment to create and retain thousands of jobs in upstate. And the dean mentioned the regional councils. To me, that's one of the greatest manifestations of what the governor's trying to do with economic development is to create these regions, drive decision-making down to the lowest levels on the ground, and have all of us in Albany listen to what the needs are. And I'm proud to say not only in the southern tier, but throughout upstate, there's been major investments in terms of dairy, agriculture, wine, beer, craft beers, and processing plants, because that's just a huge part of the state economy. So it comes from listening to people on the ground and listening to what the needs are. You'll see later in the program today how the industry has rebounded from the staggering decreases in milk prices at one time, going back to before 2009. The first time the governor listened, he continues to try and grow this industry across the state, pays very close attention to it, as evidenced by his commitment today to create a second summit. Because the summits are not just an opportunity to talk about what we've done, but again, to listen and look at what we can do more in the future, which is an important part of this. More than a third of the nation's consumers live within a relatively short drive from our New York dairy facilities and upstate farms. We are really in the heart of one of the great of our nation's population centers. And opening up those markets to more opportunities and people is really what we're trying to do. And so looking at ways to address those impediments that currently exist is an important part. In addition to access to regional markets and export markets is going to continue to drive the success of this industry for years to come. And in essence, I'll say this, I'm leaving office. I've been around as governor for 4 years, and I surely knew Governor Cuomo beforehand. But you read about things in the media and see the stories. I will tell you, just personally behind the scenes, he has been a great leader for the state. This is something that he has a passion for. He listens, he acts, and every time we have a gathering, he will end up walking away with maybe the next 2 or 3 or 4 steps to help open up this industry. That's what we need. And I always say to people, when you look at what's happening in the state, look at where we are now, but look at where we were 4 or 5 years ago and what's changed. And he has been a change agent. And he has paid attention to agriculture, and especially in the dairy industry, which is so important to our economy. And I'm proud to have been part of his team and see what he's done. But behind the scenes, he's the real deal. You see it, he holds people accountable, he works hard, but this is something that is so important to the economy of New York State, the upstate economy. And as a lifelong upstater, I've seen for many, many years, we've sometimes been lost in the shuffle when it comes to investments and attention. This governor has reversed that, and I'm proud of him for what he's done, and I think it bodes well for where we're going in the future.